Well, it is a Wednesday for your musings. Can't say I feel tired today, but, well, just don't feel like I'm up and ready and running and going. Heading my ass into work, though. Gotta do a bit of a coverage spot, radio-wise. Working the news station today, which should be fine. It's gonna be a fairly easy deal, I would assume. But it's one of those things, I haven't been out here rolling this way for a while. Haven't been doing these things. So we'll see how it is. I might actually get to see a few faces I haven't seen in a while. That's always good. I mean, not that I'm the kind of guy that gets in there and just starts bullshitting with people. You know, I kind of get in, do my own thing, get some work done, and then we're good to go. Plus, and I know I've said this in one of the first recordings I did, I'm the kind of guy I just get in there to do my own shit, because everybody else is doing their own work, and I don't want to be bothering them if they're typing away, if they're getting a story written up, or they're summarizing an interview that they just did, something, right? If I'm standing over their shoulder, hey, did you see that football game last night? Yeah, it was pretty killer, wasn't it? That 3rd and 8 pass? Yeah, set them up for a field goal. It's like they're not listening. And if they are, it's taking them away from what they need to do. So I generally just kind of hunker down, batten down the hatches, if you will. Get my shit done and stay out of everybody else's hair, because, well, I got my own shit to do, and I don't need people standing around, jawing, and asking me playing 20 questions that turns into 30 questions. It's like, dude, I'm trying to cut some audio here. I'm trying to listen to this shit. I gotta know, when are they going to commercial? Come on. I'm not that kind of guy. You know, I take my job a little seriously, strangely enough. But, speaking of taking things seriously, man, I told you about the headaches, hassles, and horseshit that came along with all that, the car wreck that I was in, and all that bullshit about, oh yeah, well, we mailed you the check, blah, 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 etc., etc. Well, there's a lot of other things, too. Seems like when things ask for your physical address, they automatically assume that you're set up and that's where things are going to be. It's not like, what I don't get is, someone will ask, or if you're filling out an application for something, let's say, whatever, a job, whatever. They'll ask, what, primary phone, cell phone, work phone. There's like several options of contact number, ways to reach you. I don't have a mailbox out in front of my house. I have a post office box set up. That's where I get anything synced to me. So there are certain things, it's just, well, what the hell? Come on, yeah, physical address is physical address. Now, if you need that for whatever reason, like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure that vehicle insurance shit, they need that for, well, goddamn it here. This fucking bus. They need that shit for, well, to see where you live and, like, what the rates are, blah, 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 etc. Like, I get that. But that happened, well, there's a perfect example. Where, oh, what's your address? Well, my address is this. Okay, based on where you live, this is what your rates are going to be. Okay. And if they go to mail you your vehicle ID, your insurance forms or whatever, if they send it to my place, they're not going to get to me. There is no box up front. So it's like, return to sender. Then I get an email or I get a phone call. It's like, oh, do we have this address right? Yeah, that's the physical address. That's where I live, but it's not my mailing address. I mean, you ask for 3 different phone numbers: home, primary, work, whatever, cell phone. You'll ask for 3 forms of a phone call. Some things are good like that, where it's just like, oh, mailing address. Is this the same as the physical address? No. Oh, okay, cool. Got you covered. California plate over there. That's a long fucking drive. Whew, shit. Side note, I think you can get, what is that, I-10? Will get you from pretty much LA to Gainesville, Florida. Pretty sure. Somewhere down there. Down there, I mean Southern California. Down here, shit. Totally different. Yeah, so once again, as I'm trying to get a couple of things set up. Oh, what's your address? Nope. Oh, well, this thing got returned to us. Why? Motherfuckers. Trying to get that sorted out now, too. Otherwise, what else do I got going on? That's just a mild thing that's pissing me off. Do you have an email address? Do you have an alternate email address? A work email? Yeah, they'll ask for 2-3 different phone numbers, 2-3 different email addresses, but apparently your physical address is absolutely where all your mail is supposed to get sent. Come on. Well, oh, I actually saw the new Mad Max movie. Well, the newest one. I know it's been out for a bit. It's already on Blu-ray and DVD. Fury Road. Pretty intense kind of a movie. I do enjoy those sort of post-apocalyptic wasteland kind of things. I mean, I've already spoken about the Fallout video games. And Mad Max is essentially similar to a degree. Or everything is just a barren wasteland. It's very desert. There's not much, there's not much for jungle or vegetation. It's all just kind of dust and dirt and sandstorms and shit. And of course, just based on, how the world would be. It's one of those things where, well, oh shit, the world's kind of going to hell, and gasoline is at a premium because all these vehicles that they have are kind of weird and shit. Now, I don't remember the original Mad Max movies all that well. As a matter of fact, the one that I know the most is, I think it's Thunderdome with Tina Turner, right? She's in that one. The basis of the stories I don't really remember. I know it's Mel Gibson. Part of me is thinking it's Lethal Weapon, like his family gets killed, which I think does happen probably in the first movie. Because there were 3 Mel Gibson Mad Max movies? But, well, anyway, Fury Road, this newer one, I do kind of dig it, and apparently they're already set up to make part 2. Which I thought is, pretty cool. It just kind of, I don't want to say it just kind of ended. Like, there was something to it. But it's almost kind of, and maybe that's just how I'm geared up. It's like, okay, what's next? It's always good to, have this story written out, and this is how it's going to end. Okay, then what? Certain things, like, I understand, you don't always need a sequel to things. I know I've spoken about how The Matrix, the first movie, could have been the last, it could have been the only one. But they made Keanu Reeves fly, Neo. They made him fly at the end. It's like, wow, how the hell did that happen? We don't remember him seeing, how to be trained to fly. What the fuck was that? Do you really think that's air you're breathing? Just kind of happened. And of course, all the lead up and all the things they said about Zion and blah, 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 there was writing on the wall there would be at least one sequel. Excuse the yawning, but there's your first one of the recording. it was set up that there was going to be a sequel. And okay, with Mad Max, I suppose, with Fury Road, I suppose it was just kind of expected. Because I don't know how many lead-ins there were, or how many tie-ins, there were to the original set with Mel Gibson. I don't know how many link-ins, how many tie-ins there were. So for that to be part of the deal, passing a big semi as he's slow going down the ramp. Here we hit I-95. But what? Honk at me, you fucking prick, you. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know if there were many I would have to watch the old movies again to see, like, what there might be as sort of a tie-in, because I don't know if, who's the chick? Was it, damn it, can't think. Was it Scarlett Johansson? Who was the main chick in Fury Road? I think it was her. But at any rate, like there's references there to where, like, oh, yo, I've been gone for 7,000 days or something like that. And that's like, what? That's like 20-some years if I quick did the math right. If I did the math quick, Andrew, I did it quick. Not saying I did it right. Merging, there we go. So I don't know if she was a character from the old movies or something like that, or I do know that, or at least I was told, I was told that the original bad guy from, I think the first movie, is the same guy that they brought in for this one, Fury Road, which I think is really cool, and he looked like such a badass character. Really did. Kind of had this, I wouldn't say it was a Darth Vader kind of mask, but you really couldn't see his face. You know, it was kind of this almost a respirator type deal over his face, and it had, like, you know, it was designed to where it looked like an evil sneer, a grin, sort of, with teeth, and there's kind of, you know, tubes hanging out of it for, you know, to help him breathe, I guess. But dude just looked badass. I gotta say, you know, the makeup and the shit that they did for him, he looked fucking badass. And if he was the same dude that was in, like, the first movie, the first couple, like, damn, I mean, to get him back, that's cool shit. And sorry if I don't know his name, I didn't look it up. I was told this. But if they got the same dude to do, and you could tell he was older. Like I said, all the makeup and the wild-ass hair that he had going, and all that shit, he looked good and fucking crazy. I thought he was a pretty fucking strong villain-style character. But I was digging it. Pretty good movie, and it was very much, just as everybody had said. There were some plot points, but altogether for, you know, what it was like a 2-hour movie, a good hour and a half of that was like car chase and explosions and shit. And just wild-ass vehicles that these people had. And, you know, it's yes, everybody told me it's like the old Mad Max movies, but on steroids. And it very much was. I believe, they shot on location in Sydney, Australia. Wow. Like, you know, I don't know anybody who lives there. I know of people who live there, whether they're, you know, some sort of internet fame. And they've, you know, those people that live in Australia basically said, yeah, unless you live along the coast, Australia is nothing but a wasteland desert. So that's probably just the perfect fucking place to shoot a movie like that. Whew. What else do I got going? Still haven't done my my spliced-in my spliced-in recording of my car crash. I might get that done today. Actually, I should. That's gonna be a bit of a trip, because I don't want to have the whole recording. It's just, yeah, whatever. That's not the part you're gonna pay attention to or care about. It's gonna be that ending, the last minute or two of that recording. That 30 minutes was not so musing. Plus, the way it ended was only about 26 minutes. But, well, because, of course I have to get that uploaded to Spreaker, then I download it. I'm going to immediately, as soon as I download it, I'm going to cut it, delete it off of Spreaker, and do some clever editing to just bring that piece up and have that for you. I may do that today, since I kind of have, I don't want to say a bit of downtime, but since I'm running the news station, well, I'll be operating it. Not that I'm running it. It's not like, yeah, look at me, I'm the boss man. No, it's nothing like that at all. I will be today's technical operator. Picture me as the cameraman, so to speak. Well, not that we're looking at anything. I mean, got to make sure the microphone levels are adjusted correctly. Got to make sure we're jumping into programming on time, cleanly. Jumping to commercial breaks at the appropriate times and cleanly. It's all about timing, goddammit. It's all about timing. That's all radio is timing. I don't want to say there's no secret to it, but it's all about timing. Alright, is there somebody next to me? Can I merge over? Can I merge here? Actually, I want to merge there. Oh, yeah. Clean, look at that. Speaking of clean and timely. 2 right lanes blocked ahead. Did I see that correctly? God damn. Oh, I haven't been noticing other plates, to be honest. Oh, kind of spaced out when I was talking about Fury Road. Trying to give a decent description of it. It's very high-paced. And, if you're looking for a substantial amount of plot, I don't think you're going to find it in that movie. Well, it's action. There's a lot of explosions and high-speed chase shit. Death, dying, blood, and gore. Not really. I mean, there's explosions. And it's understood, that they're not going to make it. It's like, oh my god, is he dead? Well, when a car rolls over you like that and then it blows up, in the long run, you're better off, Pretty good movie, and like I said, it's probably understood that the original movies. So yeah, I'll probably have to go back and watch those, and then, I liked Fury Road. Don't get me wrong, I get the basis of it where, water is scarce. There's not much for, gasoline is also a needed thing because you need to get around places. You need to get your car and, build that son of a bitch up, your own sort of, your fleet of vehicles, so you can go and raid someplace that has food, that has water, that has gas to fuel your cars. Otherwise, it's barren wasteland. You're not going to make it. So, I get that it's very survivalist. It's just on steroids. On speed, maybe. I do dig it, but I need to go back and watch the originals so I can kind of, what can I pick up on? What is there to understand? And sure, it's the lead character's name. His name is Max. Okay, well, is it supposed to be the same Mel Gibson character? I would presume so, based on the name. But what's the time frame separation one movie to the next? I mean, what if Thunderdome was, I don't know, I'm guessing 83 or something like that? It's are we to assume that all that time passed? Because, come on, Mad Max would be just old and gray as fuck right now. If they're just continuing the story it's only been a couple of years, and maybe I missed that in the very beginning. But I mean, there were traces and glimpses of I'm just wandering the wastelands now, and people that I helped turned on me because this, that, and the other. Yeah, I didn't catch all word for word. I had just gotten home. I was putting things away in the fridge and the freezer and checking emails. Yeah, highly distracting myself. Oh yeah. but a good action-styled movie. You know what? Fuck it. 30-minute musings, Fury Road. That's the name of this one. Pretty easy. I was going to name it Return to Sender, because I was, talking about that. What's your physical address? This. Okay, we'll send it shortly. No. I got a mailing address. Can't use it. Well, we need that for our records. It's not going to get here. It's going to be Return to Sender. What is this, South Carolina plate in front of me? Is it? Yes, it is. travel2sc.com. Ooh, it's a Ford Fusion SE, in case you're wondering. All kinds of plates now. Pretty bad if I can notice that, Certain plates, you just see them enough and it's like, yep, I already know. Whew, shit. Yawning, God bless America. That one was for free. I'm going to throw that one in there. No extra cost to you. But wait, there's more. Yeah, I'm sure to yawn here in the next 5 minutes. Kind of want to check my timer to see how much more I got duration-wise. Because I've already hit my way down Pembroke Road. Which means I'm getting close to the North Perry Airport and West Island Drive. That's not my final turn, I'll have you know. It's just that seems to be a pretty balanced barometer, I guess, of where this usually gets cut off, based on the 30 minutes. Which isn't bad, because that's maybe a mile from the work lot. And there are just death clouds behind me out east. Holy shit, that does not look fun. Where am I at? Just under 8 minutes to go. That's good. That's pretty sexy. Oh boy. Oh shit, here's another one. I believe I've brought it up in the past. I turned it into I had it as a recorded podcast material type thing. But Spectre 007, fuck, I forget when that comes out. I know it's coming up here. October, November maybe. And holy shit, do I want to see that one, so long as we're talking a couple of movies. I really don't watch many movies, but I've seemed to have made several of these recordings talking about them. Pretty fucking odd. Okay, other than Fury Road, what's the most recent new movie that I saw? Had to be Days of Future Past, the X-Men movie, which I saw, what was that, late May, early June, when I was back visiting my family on vacation. Had to be that. And okay, if today is what? Today is September 16th? Something like that? Somewhere around there. That Wednesday of 2015. In case you're listening to this well past when it first originally aired. Wednesday, I'll say it's like the 16th. Actually, can I check real quick? Is this possible while I'm recording? Wednesday, September 16th. I'll be goddamned. Probably am, too. That's all aside, though. Yeah, so how about May, June, July, August, September? That was a good 4 months ago, probably. Oh, cracking my neck. God. Oh, I've been back on my workout regimen. That's good. Still eating pretty good outside of, my brother will call me up. He's on vacation this week. It's a big deal back home. It's the big fall ride, Colorama, where all the Harley Davidson motherfuckers show up. And, it's for, is it for MS, or what do they do that for? The MD ride, muscular dystrophy, excuse me. It's for a good cause, but that's a lot of kind of outlaw biker types, and there's always, outlaws and Hell's Angels, and in a little city like that, a little town like that of 3,000 people, to try to absorb. It's kind of like, what the fuck is that big one? Sturgis is like the big Harley rally. I'm not big on things called rallies unless it's in baseball. But that all aside, This little town of Tomahawk, Wisconsin, 3,000 city population, balloons. I don't know how many thousands upon thousands upon thousands that show up during this week. It used to be just the weekend. Now it's like the week. You know, it started up on Friday, and it'd be Saturday, Sunday, and then kind of things would either clear out Sunday or Monday, and things would go back to semi-normal. Now it's basically all week. Today being Wednesday, I'll bet you, well, there's only two main streets. There's North 4th Street, and then there's, what is it, Tomahawk Avenue, or... I forget, it's either Tomahawk or Wisconsin. Wisconsin Avenue, Wisconsin Street, whatever. The two main, the Loop. Everybody back home knows it as the Loop. North 4th Street, you're either zipping the strip or you're scooping the Loop. Yeah, that's all there are, two main roads. But like all of that shit gets like shut down and not barricaded off, but you know, it's not open to cars to drive. Because, you know, the street vendors come up and like these tattoo fucking trailers, and you know, it's kind of good for business to some extent because the place gets so over flooded with people. It's like every bar is busy as shit. Because, yeah, you know, bikers wanted, well, whoever, not just bikers. I can't blame everything on them. Not trying to put blame on them, but you can imagine. You know, they're bringing in some drugs and some shit that's kind of not for this small little aw shucks town. But, you know, a lot of bad shit does happen. There's always somebody gets killed. Because, yeah, how do you get initiated into a fucking biker gang? Yeah, you know, that's my guess, is that's how it happens or why it happens. But you get a bunch of drunk people or they're hepped up on something and things get out of control. Always happens. But my brother took this week off. And honest to God, anybody knows my brother kind of would laugh at this. Why did he take this week off? Because of the food, because of the street vendor shit, because of the, what do you call them? Do you call them Euros or Gyros? The spelling is Gyro, but I've heard the pronunciation to be Euros. That, what is that? That lamb meat on a stick, you know? So he digs all the food that comes around. So he literally took this week off for the, not Fall Fest, excuse me, that's different, for the Fall Ride. He took this week off just for all of the food that comes around, you know, the street vendor food joints. I mean, ironically enough, you know, my brother and I are somewhat complete opposites in a lot of fashions. Fitness and health being one of those things. He is a beer drinking, I don't give a fuck what I eat kind of, but he's not big on sweets and candy. He'll eat the fuck out of baby back ribs and corn dogs and shit. Literally, eats like a fucking garbage disposal. And drinks like it's a contest. But took this week of vacation off strictly for, oh yeah, all the food shit that's going to be around. Maybe there'll be a little, picture New York, compacted into two small, middle of nowhere Wisconsin streets. You know? Maybe there's a hot dog guy over here with his thing. And here's a little shack that all they do is, well, who knows? Maybe there's a cotton candy thing for the kids and shit like that. And, well, down at Sarah Park, Sarah, S-A-R-A, Somo Avenue Recreational Area. Down at Sarah Park, it's kind of open parkland. Like, there's soccer fields and baseball fields. They do a lot of shit out there. Well, a lot of the tents get set up. Well, literally, it's like circus tent kind of shit, like that size. But there's vendors selling, you know, well, because it's bikers. So there's a lot of leather jackets and chaps and hats and shit like that being sold, berets and whatever. And, you know, t-shirts, Harley Davidson, this and that, and they're tie-dyed and whatever. Like I said, it's all going for muscular dystrophy. And that's a great cause, don't get me wrong. But all through that small town, and I'm wrapping up here, I got less than 40 seconds. All through that small town, it's, you know, shit is so compact. But everywhere you go, there's something to buy, and there's some, I can't say different kind of food, but there's all kinds of shit that my brother's going to be digging into, and I picture him like fucking much, much fatter, much slower, but very much like Wile E. Coyote chasing the Roadrunner with that damn napkin around his neck and a fork and a knife, just, tongue hanging out, drooling. Well, that's how that's going to go down. I'm closing out here. So, till we meet again, I'll catch your ass down the road.